further collaboration, as well as what recommendation to accelerate SDG. So these are the 5 core questions that we, in the end, we need to summarize later. So if you can, as you make your presentation, think about those 5 questions, that would help. So about 10 to 15 minutes maximum per person, and we do have our timekeeper over there. They are very strict, with the green and the red and the yellow color. I don't know whether there's a yellow, but anyway, I think we will start our session pretty soon. Yeah. So I hope we are ready with our presentations, and if you do have some slides, I think our technical group has that, and you do have the pointer right there. Okay. So without further ado, I would like to call our first speaker. And our first speaker is Laila Azhar from Pakistan on her paper entitled Voice, Visibility and Validity, Empowering Home-Based Workers, a case study of a home-based worker. Now, is the executive director of a civil society organization called Homeness Pakistan, an organization that raises awareness about the rights of women who work in cottage industries and organizes them to bargain for better working conditions. Yeah? And HomeNet Pakistan is part of the coalition for the right to a healthy environment, which is one of the winners of Human Rights Prize for 2023. So with that, the floor is yours, Ume.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashra. And before I begin, I just want to thank the SDG conference organizers and SAC Academy, as ASEA Academy, for giving me this opportunity to present the work that we are doing for the informal economy workers in Pakistan. So just to give you a brief snapshot of what my organization is doing, it's as we start as I start my before the presentation of the work that I have presented in the paper, just to give you a brief snapshot of the organization. So HomeNet Pakistan, what HomeNet Pakistan is doing, it was established in 2005 formally to look after the issues of the informal workers in Pakistan. As Dr. Eri was mentioning in her comments early in the morning, that 80% is the informal economy, and since the developing countries like Pakistan in South Asia, the informal economy is 74%. So this network of HomeNet Pakistan was established formally in 2000, and then it got registered in 2005, and with the mission and vision to entertain the majority of the home-based workers and their issues. And as a member of HomeNet South Asia, it strives to empower the home-based workers to realize their economic, political, and social rights, and strengthen the women workers at the grassroots level. So this is basically the focus and the vision and mission of the home-based workers, where we intend to strengthen the respective member organizations and the women workers in adoption of the fair trade practices and improvement of the working conditions, and ensuring a security of their income, and ensuring the participation in a democratic way. So the strategic programs that HomeNet Pakistan is running are the 3 major crux, or the 3 major themes. The programs for the organizing, mobilizing, and strengthening and sensitizing the women home-based workers in the informal economy, and the grassroots level organizations. And the programs for strengthening citizens for advocacy and action, and programs for affirmative legislations and policy. And the 4th one is, I think it's the strengthening the livelihood programs. So it's not visible here. So these 4 programs of HomeNet Pakistan are the strategic intervention areas where we are working since 2005. And the focus of the strategic focus of the organization comes from ILO Convention 177 and CEDAW, and where we focus on the community and advocate for the skill training and improved technologies and all the market-related, livelihood-related streams that we are focusing, which are related with the mobilizing and identification, mobilizing and organizing of the home-based workers at the grassroots level. And it's a bottom-up approach where we organize the women, give them their identity in a membership-based organization, and then educate them and capacitate their abilities with regard to the 4 streams that we have just mentioned about them. And then develop them into membership-based organizations. And it's a 3-pronged strategy where we work at the meso level, at the macro level, and at the micro level. And at the meso level, we have district action committees where we have penetrated into 25 districts, where we have district action committees who are the support organizations who are supporting the membership-based organizations of home-based workers. And then we have a network of 360 members with 60 official members who are part of the governing body of the structure of HomeNet Pakistan. So the programs under the strategic regimes that I have mentioned earlier is to build and establish a strong advocacy platform at the national and the provincial level. So the programs focuses around livelihood and skill enhancement, information dissemination, mobilizing, organizing, leadership development is the crux of the mobilization of the women. And it's the advocacy through mobilization and innovative approaches through collaborations. And we focus on CEDAW, ILO conventions, 8 core conventions, UDHR, Sustainable Development Goals, and human rights due diligence, since the 80% of the women that we have organized belong to the garment and textile sector. And with these new legislative regimes coming up from EU with regard to human rights due diligence, we are focused on that also. So these are some of the initiatives that have been taken, like organizing the home-based workers, capacitating their strengths, and bringing them the visibility and organizing them into unions and ensuring that their rights are addressed at the local level and then at the provincial and at the national level. So you can see some of the pictures where women are being they are addressing their own community meetings, their own unions meetings, and in a democratic way, and the strengthening of is going on, strengthening of their capacities, livelihood going on at the grassroots levels. So why we are working for the informal economy? As the problem analysis states that the informal economy is unprotected, unregistered, it's uncounted. So the major, as I already mentioned, the major part of the informal economy remains hidden, and it constitutes about like 80% of the women workforce in our country. So whatever the labor legislations we have, they are for the formal workforce. So the uncounted, unorganized, informal economy workers and the major part home-based workers, their needs need to be mainstreamed. So what the deficits of the informal economy, we all know, is employment deficit, right deficit, social protection, representation, growth deficit, and access to financial resources. Because they are uncounted, no data is available, so all the rights are not available to these women in these, and specifically when the data is absent. So the major challenges that this sector faces, the visibility, organizing, policy legislations, and missing links due to the awareness and unavailability of the data. So the reason why we are working at the grassroots level, organizing, strengthening, giving voice and visibility to the women is that they need to ensure the visibility, that create better linkages by collaborations and bringing them to the major platforms and involving them in the policy legislations and organizing the women for building their voice and visibility. Just wanted to share here that Pakistan has become the first country where we have affirmative actions for the home-based workers by 4 provincial assemblies. And that is because of the organizing and mobilization of the home-based workers and their involvement in the larger advocacy that we had throughout the country. So this is basically the concept of MBO, how we organize them. It's through the democratic, transparency, accountability, solidarity, and independent. This is basically the characteristics that we follow, and it's more or less the characteristics of SEC model that we are implementing. So this is basically, I just have already mentioned this, that one of the important thing is that the organizing is based on the leadership development. And the case study that I have selected today that I'm presenting before you is about a woman, Sadaf Parveen, who actually is a home-based worker, and she was brought into our group in 2015, 16, 17, where we organized her community. You can see her profile, I don't have to mention. She started with like 5 to 10 members, formed her membership-based organizing, that's we call MBO, and then later on, we, through the leadership program and through building the capacities and linking them up, the group in itself brought Sadaf to a level where she is now advocating for her own women members. So basically, what we have adopted as approach is it's a feminist-based approaches, right-based approaches that we use during our organizing and develop the leadership of the community MBOs and focus on their leadership based on the need assessment that we do, and build on the capacity, bring in different programs and training opportunities, link the community MBOs with other organizations. And since this is a livelihood-related program, livelihood-related MBO that Sadaf has formed, starting from 10 members, and now she has grown into like 150 to 200 members, and all are involved in the garment sector. So the need was to have the business development and financial literacy training. So that was rigorously provided to this group, and strengthening the peer group, because Sadaf is the leader with her 10 major and important members. Then she increased her membership to around 200 now. So the peer group is learning from the learnings that Sadaf is providing. And also intervention into the policy-related representation, their needs. They are directly attending and participating the policy level things and the membership drive. So she started her group with 10 members, and now the group is grown into 200, and now she's also supporting organizing in other parts of Karachi. And last year in April and May, the group started the processes of organized as an organized MBO to a registered union. So this group is now registered as a union in the Baldia town. So this is basically, this has come from the leadership development as a bottom-up approach that we have adopted. And so the impact that it has had is it's organizational. She started her life as a community worker, as a community home-based workers, and now with this leadership programs and strengthening, she has represented at national level, at provincial level, and at the international level. So she has grown from a community home-based worker to a leader, and now representative of a union, and talking about the rights and advocating for the rights. So this is basically something that has happened over the year, and not only this, that she's also just talking about the rights, she's also ensuring the economic livelihood of the group that she is heading, and ensuring that the financial literacy, digital literacy, business development programs, all the workers are engaged in that. And now the stage that she is at the moment is it's the transition from like informal to formal. So her business is now undergoing the registration process. So you can see different training aspects, and her Sadaf presenting herself at a regional forum as a home-based workers and talking about her journey. So with the lens of a social solidarity economy, focusing on sustainable development goal 5 and 8, and decent employment opportunities and gender equality, this whole case study is a best practice of what the modalities and the strategic interventions HomeNet Pakistan has taken up for empowering the women home-based workers and giving them voice and visibility. So the framework of SSC, from mobilization to the leadership development, is a strategic intervention which has given validity to the home workers in the context of providing them the legal recognition. And now the discussion that we are having in Pakistan is to bring these women into the social security paradigm, which would be another regime for this woman. So I'll just need 2 more minutes, with your permission, to wrap up. Okay, 1 minute. So in addressing the challenges of organizing, mobilizing, and developing the leadership horizontally and vertically, the only possible solution that is there that we found, and we can assessing the Sadaf's case study, is that organizing and mobilizing is the answer to all the challenges that we have faced horizontally and vertically in building their leadership at the grassroots level. So in order to ensure the visibility of these home-based workers in a broader socio-economic context, it's important that we need to build and strengthen partnerships, establish collective awareness, and collective alliances, strengthen linkages, ensure collaborations, and joint advocacy. So this is done, and I don't have to mention that the way forward is the collective responsibility, where we need to have sustained commitment, collaborative approaches, based on the research-based advocacy, ensuring partnership and mainstreaming of informal economy, and ensuring the inclusion. It's a long way to go. Thank you so much for bearing me. And since it's a lot of work that has been done, and Sadaf is just one home-based worker. We have hundreds and thousands of women who can share their stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Umair, for sharing with us the case of home-based workers in Pakistan. And we are going to move on to our next speaker, Madam Punsat Wamantulabhan from Thailand. And your paper is on social and economic empowerment of home-based workers through HomeNet. This is Thailand brand. So yes, please, the floor is yours.
Good morning. So I'm very excited to present the experience from HomeNet Thailand. We are all networking between HomeNet Thailand, HomeNet Philippines, HomeNet Pakistan. And Laila mentioned in terms of the home-based workers. In fact, in Thailand, HomeNet Thailand work not only home-based workers, we work with other sectors too, but and in different aspects. But I will try my best to talk about HomeNet Thailand brand. HomeNet Thailand brand is economic activities of our members. But maybe our title is different because last time there is a recommendation to change the title, but I didn't agree. But at this point, I agree to ensuring a dignified life and social equality through collective action by home-based workers. The lesson from HomeNet Thailand Association. Next. I will talk about background of home-based worker, but not much because Laila is already mentioned, and HomeNet Thailand Association, and talk about HomeNet Thailand brand and its operation and expectation, and our limitation and way forward. Next. In terms of home-based worker, there are 2 categories: own account worker and home workers. Own account. In terms of own account worker, they are workers who produce and sell their product from their own investment. It means that like handicraft producers. And in terms of home worker, they are wage worker working on piece rate basis. They subcontracted their job from factory or subcontractor to work at home. We will find them everywhere in the country, but we cannot see them. And in terms of the, from time to time, this home worker and own account worker, they switch from time to time. So they produce different kind of product like handicraft, garment, reader wear, electronic, and everything. So problem they face is almost the same as Laila mentioned. So they are considered informal worker. Informal worker mean that we are not invisible and not recognized by the government. And they are not recognized as that we are contribute to the growth of the economic growth of the country. So you cannot find us in the plan and policy of the government. So next. In terms of the HomeNet Thailand Association, so I come to Thailand. Next. In terms of HomeNet Thailand Association, we are a membership-based organization or MBO that Laila mentioned. And we try to improving the quality of lives of home-based workers and informal workers in 2003. And but we formally registered in 2013 at the Association of a Worker, of a home-based worker. We have around 5,000 page members. And we operate with a commitment on participation, democracy, and independence from political parties. And we consistently advocate for social protection measures, including universal health care coverage, social insurance, occupational health and safety, elderly pension, and child support grants. Main achievement that we achieved during, I think, 20 years that we are working. The government issued in terms of the Home Worker Protection Act in 2010. And we also advocate for co-payment of contribution fee for social insurance for informal workers in 2011. And at the same time, within our organization, we have cremation group to assist our member family. And at the same time, we also assist other informal workers in other subsectors to form a federation of informal workers in Thailand, which is calling about 10,000 members. Next. You can see that we have some achievement in terms of the law and policy, but in terms of the economic issue, we face a big problem. Like we can advocate that for social insurance for informal workers, but if our members have no money to pay for contribution fee, how come? It's not success yet. So we look at ourselves and we found out that in terms of the economic situation of home-based workers, we need to support. So it comes to HomeNet Thailand brand. Next. HomeNet Thailand brand is a collective action for economic empowerment of home-based workers. In 2017, we assist about 942 home-based workers from 25 producer groups to come together, and they are to establish like a social enterprise. HomeNet Thailand brand is a social enterprise. It's aimed to create the competitiveness of members to secure their income and livelihood. And we operated under 7 principles. That the first one is very important, that in terms of financially active, attractive, and sustainable social enterprise. The second one is we operated based on fair trade and social solidarity economy. Third one is create decent employment to vulnerable groups in the society, promote member participation and ownership. We increase member accessibility to social welfare provided by the state. And our organization, we produce and sell environmentally friendly products. And we try to operate with clear organizational structure, democratic governance, efficient management, and accountability and transparency. In fact, we developed this with our leader, our member, but it's not easy to operate. So we fully active in 2019 with support from Foundation Channel. And but unlucky, in 2020 and 2022, our activity have to slow down because of the COVID-19. We have to survive, not selling the product, but try to survive first. And during COVID-19 crisis, HomeNet Thailand brand supported revolving fund. We supported our revolving fund to our members from 44 producer groups. And in 2013, it's getting better. So we register as a company limited. Why company? Why not cooperative? Because in Thailand, if you operate under cooperative, the cooperative law is very, how to say, so sad to say, no? That is not support us. It will drag you, no? It's with big barrier. So it's better to register as a company. So we decided to register as a company, but we still cannot register as a social enterprise. We have to operate at least 1 year, then we can be a social enterprise. So about the investment fund, that 72% of the investment fund is shared from our home-based worker groups, and only 28% shared by HomeNet Thailand Association. In mid-2023, we share dividend fund with our member in terms of our regulation. We divided into 3 portions. 60% dividend fund go to the member, 30% reserved at investment fund, and 10% we donate to HomeNet Thailand Association for their activities. And in 2023, we have gross sale less than 1 million. In fact, it's less than in 2022. Currently, we have online marketing 20%, on-site is 80%. One minute, please. Next. So we want to ensure dignified lives and social equality. So we increase regular earning. We want to increase regular earning of home-based worker and increase bargaining power. We think that when we register as HomeNet Thailand brand social enterprise, means that we formalize ourselves. And in our activity, we contribute to decent work and SDG in terms of goal 1, no poverty and secure income and livelihood. In terms of goal 5, because our member are gender equalities, why realize wide recognition and change their social status. And in terms of goal 8, decent work, we have fair employment, productive employment, and we have social protection and social dialogue. And in terms of goal 10, in terms of inequality, we try to reduce inequality gap. Last one. Our limitation is in terms of financial sustainability. We need support. We still need support. And in terms of business and social aspect, this is very important. And how to balance between business and social. And in terms of the entrepreneurial management skill, this is also very important. In terms of marketing strategy, also very important. And in terms of the technology disruption and multi-crisis that we are facing, it's a big issue for us. I like to say, I like to finish here that in terms of the social enterprise, which is based on social solidarity economy and come from small women, we need support. We still need support. It's impossible that they can grow up by themselves. We need support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Punat, for the presentation. And you know, she is very qualified to do this because she is currently the board member of HomeNet Thailand Association, which is, and you have like 5,000 members in the organization at this point, yeah? Yeah, about that, yeah. Whereas actually, Ume, you have more than, you have like 50,000 or something like that, if I remember correctly reading your papers. Okay, yeah, we've gone with 2 speakers, so we're moving with our 3rd speaker. Yeah, so in this panel, we are traveling all across the South Asia, Southeast Asia, and into West Asia, actually, after this. Okay, so our 3rd speaker is Madam Maria Patricia Vito Cruz de Vera, from the Philippines, and now she is the current chairperson of HomeNet Producers Cooperative, an organization that empowers home-based workers by producing products mostly by women-based workers and entrepreneurs. Additionally, she also serves as the alternate representative for the NGO subsector in the National Social Enterprise Development Roadmap and acts as a gender development consultant for the Tagowaneng Women Weavers Association. So with that, I would like to call Maria, okay, to make a presentation on the HomeNet Producers Cooperative towards economic empowerment of women home-based workers. So please.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So there you go. So I introduce to you HomeNet Producers Cooperative. So we are a cooperative, but a small and struggling cooperative composed of home-based workers. Okay. Next slide, please. So HomeNet Producers Cooperative was founded in 2011 by home-based workers and their friends from the academe, from non-government organizations, and from the private sector. And then it's a policy of the cooperative that 70% of the members should be home-based workers, and only 30% are accepted, non-home-based workers to be a member of the cooperative. And those are the picture there shows some of the founding members and then a mix of new members. Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. All right. So we are registered a year after, in 2012, with the Cooperative Development Authority, or CDA, in the Philippines. Next slide, please. HomeNet Producers Cooperative, or HPC, if to refer to it very shortly, is producing and creating crafts at home, and also doing backyard gardening for fresh produce of fruits and vegetables, and as well as providing services. No? So whatever the home-based worker skill or expertise, that is what they produce and contribute in the cooperative. Next slide, please. So this is the front photo of our showroom or store. And we promote the products of the home-based workers also through different social media platforms. Okay. Next slide, please. So just to give you a very simple illustration of how we do our supply chain in the cooperative. So we start with the home-based worker who produces her crafts or her skill, contributes her skill. And then so the products can be both food and non-food produce, fresh or frozen, or even preserved like bottled or packed. So food and non-food. So we also have clothing accessories and even clothes, and even bags and wall decors and wall plaques, all coming from different parts of the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Next slide, please. I'm sorry. So from the production of their products or produce, they are delivered to us by courier, or they themselves deliver it to the store. And then from there, we promote the products through social media, or there are customers who drop in at the showroom or store, and they buy directly from the store, or others make orders through the social media platforms that we are available. And from there, the orders are delivered, again, by courier, or they drop in at the store to collect their orders. So from time to time, it's always a mix of everything in the store, food and non-food items inside the store. And we have already a captured audience of supporters, the usual consumers of the products of these home-based workers, because they believe in the struggles of the home-based workers. And then next to that is already the consumers. No? They themselves enjoying the products made by the home-based workers. Next, please. So, how did HPC, or Home Net Producers Cooperative, become attracted to social solidarity economy, or SSE? How did we become appreciative of social solidarity economy, or SSE? Next slide, please. All right, so number one, of course, is the first core feature of SSE, using the ILO core feature, so which is engagement in economic activities. So in engaging in economic activities, as a producer cooperative, the principal activity of the organization is carried out by its members, who are engaged in the production of food and food products, crafts, wearables, novelty items. Next slide, please. Accessories, home care products. To pursue its social and environmental mission, the HPC also practices community-supported and shared agriculture, whereby it purchases organic vegetables, eggs, fruits, and other healthy and sustainably produced products and sells them to its regular clients. And sometimes even walk-in clients for the first time who visited the showroom or store. So these are the products, the food and non-food products of HomeNet. So we really engage in economic activities. Next slide, please. So that second is primacy of people over profit. We at HomeNet see that the core features of SSE resonate in our practices. So being a cooperative, the HPC adheres to the principle of service over and above profit. This is explicitly stated in our Article of Cooperation and bylaws. Now let's talk about the feminist qualities of HPC, of our organization. HPC is moved by the indigenous values of bayanihan, which means cooperation in English, damayan, which means mutual aid in English, and tangkilikan, which means patronizing each other's products. And this is associated with Filipino SSE entities, which spur members to lend each other a helping hand when needed. So aside from adhering to these indigenous values, which arguably can also be described as feminist, the feminist nature of HPC is apparent in its overwhelmingly female membership. There are only a handful of males in the cooperative who are members, and the leading role of feminists in the organization, who see that the cooperative as a potent instrument for women's economic empowerment and adhere to the tenets of gender and development. So let's describe empathetic. The HPC leaders immediately express sympathy to families of members who passed away and turns over to them without necessity of demand the share capital of the deceased members. When a board member passes away, the HPC leadership posted a tribute to her through Facebook and made sure that HPC members attended her wake and burial. When a member got stricken with Parkinson's disease, the HPC leadership made sure that she got visited and received her share capital back to help her defray her medical treatment. Altruistic. When fellow co-op members need markets for overflow products such as squash or pumpkin, the cooperative buys and sells their products in its store and donates them to community pantries. And this community pantries became very popular during the pandemic. The same concern was shown to women when women onion producers asked for help to market their products, and the cooperative agreed to sell 750 kilos of onions to our members and networks. And then nurturing. The organization helps or encourages the development of others, especially home-based worker leaders and members who seldom have the opportunity to attend important conferences and meetings. Their participation is subsidized by the cooperative or by HomeNet Philippines, to which the cooperative is a member, like the other HomeNet Southeast Asia, right? Our cooperative leaders are also in decision-making sessions. Okay. And then, can I wrap up? Next slide, please. So, contribution to decent work and the SDGs. There you go. The the 5. Good health, SDG 3, SDG 5, gender equality, SDG 8, decent work, SDG 13, climate action, SDG 17, partnership by cultivating relations with government agencies concerned with cooperatives. Next slide, please. And then, of course, number 4, core feature, mutual aid. Next slide, please. Number 5, voluntary cooperation. Number 6. Next slide, please. Democracy and or participatory governance. Next slide, please. Autonomy and independence. So we can see ourselves, the cooperative can see ourselves in the core features of the SDG and SSE. However, we still have challenges, okay? There are still challenges. And we hope to, and our recommendations are, more slides please, the last slide. Next slide please. All right, so recommendations, let's just end with the recommendations. So we recommend the conversion into a multipurpose cooperative, building multi-stakeholder partnerships, more intensive use of digital platforms and social media, and recruitment and development of young leaders who are adept at using new technology. And to end my presentation, I would like to, the cooperative would like to bring in 3 important words. Next slide, please. There. Okay, that's it. Thank you. This is what we want to bring in. Now, the cooperative would like to bring in into this conference 3 important words: collaboration, convergence, and synergy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria, for your presentation. About highlighting those 7 core values of SSE. I think that is something that, it is embedded in all the 3 presentations. And well, some are very direct, some we have to sift it through a little bit, but it is there. I was also thinking about the mutual aid, actually, with Pakistan just now. That didn't, maybe later you can elaborate a little bit on that, yeah? So the reason I'm doing this is because the 3 presentations right here are actually on home-based workers, whereas we have quite a different presentation coming up, okay? And this is taking us into the academic realm, which is a realm that I'm very familiar with. So anyway, Hanin, so we have our speaker here, Hanin Halim, a lecturer, PhD candidate at the Department of English, University of Babylon in Iraq. And she is the official representative of the University of Babylon for International Relations and currently occupies the position of Head of Academic Research interest at the Chancellery. So with that, Hanin, I give you the floor. Okay.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank the conference committee for having us here today, and thank you very much for the moderator for introducing me. As the moderator has mentioned, we have already dealt with different case studies that are related to the workplace. We have dealt with home-based, and now we are going to shift to the academic community. We are all here gathered today to deal with the different approaches that we have towards creating a more sustainable global society with a special focus on Asia. And the previous cases were dealing with Central and East Asia, and today we will shift to West Asia as well. Can you start my slide, please? Yes, okay. All right, so within the framework of the UN SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, we have the 5th goal that addresses gender equality. And one aspect of gender equality is women emancipation and empowerment, especially in the workplace. So there are several research works that address the emancipation or the equivalence that is created between male and female workers and students, so whether it is in an educational or in a professional environment. But since the academic community represents a reflection of the whole society, it is very crucial to study this community especially. So in 2022, the University of Babylon has established the Women Empowerment Unit in the University Chancellery, and this is the first Iraqi university to start this initiative. And from my position as the head of academic research, we have, it is our responsibility to create academic policies and strategic planning. And this is all conducted within the framework of Sustainable Development Goals. Our study evaluates the women emancipation and empowerment within the academic field. And we have taken the Iraqi higher education as a, let's say, the general scope, and the University of Babylon as a case study. This is the first research study or research project, in fact, of its kind in Iraq, as we are the first university to collect data over a period of 18 months. As I will clarify in the section of methodology, we have created a comprehensive framework to include all different aspects. And to create a more comprehensive view of the context in which we have conducted this case study, I will give you a brief idea about the University of Babylon itself with regards to statistics and the size. As you can see here, the University of Babylon consists of 20 colleges, and the majority of them fall within the STEM disciplines, which are science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And as is known as a global trend, women are mostly underrepresented in this field, or they face difficulties when trying to establish their careers in these disciplines. And one of the specific things that the University of Babylon is distinguished in is the fact that we have a College of Science for women specially. This is a college that involves female and male faculty members, but it is specialized for female students only. This is to ensure that we provide access for female students to start or establish their career in these very important fields of science. As for the University of Babylon community, there are a number of statistics here with regards to the undergraduate and postgraduate students, the faculty members, professors, and so on. And it is important to mention here that if we take a look at, let's say, the statistical rates of male to female members at the university, across students and faculty members, we will find that 51% of the members are female and 49 members are male. So it is very important to take this all into consideration when writing our policies. Again, we do have research centers that are specified in the STEM fields, and we know that there are, let's say, mostly male-dominated fields as compared to the, let's say, the humanities or the social sciences, and therefore we are trying to take all aspects into consideration when writing our policies. Aims, objectives, and our, yes, okay. In this work, we are having created a framework to try to evaluate to what extent women are emancipated and empowered in the academic community of the University of Babylon. And in order to do so, we have set 6 criteria, which are formulated in the aims above. We have assessing gender equality when it comes to university policies, to the extent that they are, let's say, clarified and explained. We have examining women's status in scientific promotions and higher occupations. We have the role of events and training courses in women emancipation, analyzing language use, assessing services, rewards, and punishments. And finally, we take a look at the channels of assault reporting, because this is also something that has to be considered. The methodology, since this is a very large project and the first of its kind to be conducted in a country like Iraq, we have, let's say, proposed an analysis framework that takes different perspectives into consideration. It is both qualitative and quantitative, and it includes reports, statistical and thematic reports that are conducted or collected over a period of 18 months. We have semi-structured interviews conducted with both, let's say, administrative and academic field, let's say, faculty members. We have focus group discussions in which we try to give an audience or a podium to the audience that we have at the university to share their experiences, to share their personal insights into the whole concept of women empowerment and emancipation. And finally, we have a survey conducted across about 1,200 members. As we can see here, the participants are, let's say, the research population has to be as inclusive as possible. So we have included both male and female faculty members, which have academic and administrative positions. We have included seniors, we have included deans, and we have included directors, as well as students of undergraduate and postgraduate programs. So this will all contribute to create a very comprehensive insight into the women empowerment status in the university. As has been mentioned in the plenary session, ethical considerations are also very important. So we have to make sure that we have informed consent, we have anonymous identities, and so on. And this is all considered in our project. Findings and discussions, I will go through them very briefly due to time limitations. The first one is gender equality in the university policies. When we checked the policies that have been written already in the university throughout the last few years, we have seen that there do exist policies that address gender specifically. But the point is that not all faculty members are aware of this policy. We have found through the survey that only 57% of the people knew about this policy or knew to what extent it could be adopted and conducted at work. So it is not only to make sure that these policies exist in our university, we also have to make sure that they are equitable, and they are also enforced. The second point is the status of women when it comes to senior positions. We have found that only 23% of the senior positions in our university are occupied by women, and we are talking about scientific and administrative senior positions. And this underrepresentation of women is something that goes along with, let's say, a global trend, because this is elsewhere also found. We have, actually, I have to mention here that we have ministerial regulations for the criteria that are set to check whether a person is qualified to take such a senior position. And if we take a look at these criteria, whether it is for scientific promotion or for occupation of such higher positions, we can see that actually they are all gender neutral. Thematically, they're all gender neutral. So we cannot, let's say, trace this issue of imbalance back to the ministerial aspect. This is actually something due to, as we have seen in our interviews, this is due to the problem of lack of work and personal life imbalance that most women face, whether it is in the academic community or elsewhere with the workplace. Yes. The role of meetings, events, and training, I will go through this briefly. It was initially suggested that women do not have access to, let's say, equal opportunities when it comes to skill development and professional training. But when we conducted the survey, we have found that 91% of the participants actually agreed that all of them have, let's say, semi-equal or quasi-equal access to opportunities when it comes to development. And 76% of the women who did agree actually made use of these opportunities that were provided by the university. So again, we have noticed Yes, I will wrap it up very briefly. Again, we have noticed that there is an imbalance when it comes to male and female faculty members when it comes to international training. Because, as is known, female participants find it very hard to leave their family, to leave their country for a certain period of time to conduct training. Meanwhile, male do not have such large responsibilities when it comes to home-related or family-related issues. Yes. Language use in academic community. As is known, language has the power of shaping our whole constructs and our whole concept of stereotypes. So it is very important to take also this detail into consideration when analyzing the whole women emancipation and empowerment status. So we have seen here that actually only 38% of the official letters and official orders that are issued by the university do use a gender-neutral or gender-inclusive language. So this is something that we have to work on as a university. And however, 48 or 47% of public posts do include gender, but again, these are not sufficient numbers. So this is something that has been recommended to be developed further on. We have services, rewards, and punishments. Again, 93% of the participants agreed that both male and female members are, let's say, approached equally when it comes to rewards and when it comes to punishment or penalties. And this is also traced back to the fact that the Iraqi constitution, the Iraqi law, and the ministerial regulations all include the fact that there is no difference whether this act is conducted by a man or a woman. All are regarded the same. Finally, the assault reporting channels. Again, we have something similar to the policies here. The assault reporting channels do exist, but very few people are aware of this. So this is something that we have to develop and shed light on through our work. Conclusions and recommendations. We do see that we have sufficient numbers here, but we have still room for improvement. So this is something that we, as a university, recommend not only for the University of Babylon, but the whole higher institution of higher education institutions of Iraq need to further plan and strategize for. We have a need for collaboration within the departments of the university itself, as well as with the ministry. And we have a need for capacity building to make sure that those who do have access or do have rights are aware of these rights. And to round up, a regular assessment is also a must. So we have just finished our 18-month project, and we are planning for several projects as branching out of this one. Thank you very much, and I apologize for the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hanin, for the presentation and for sharing the research that you have done at only your university, right? Yes, this is the only way. Okay, all right. So, involving, what was it, 1,200 members. Okay, come, please.